of a white Christmas, just like the ones I...
Well, good morning. It's Longhaultanker, straight razor shaving with Longhaultanker, and it is the day after Christmas, 26 December 2022 at approximately 10:30 a.m. Central Time, and I'm at home, and we're going to do a special straight razor shave. And let's see here, where do we start? Yesterday was the revealing of Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer gift exchange at the Shaving Cadre. If you saw my video from yesterday, sitting in front of the fireplace, you saw me opening the gifts and reading the Christmas cards, and just a lot of fun and back and forth on the forum, the Shaving Cadre. If you're watching me on YouTube, I say thank you. Hit the like and subscribe button. Leave a comment if you so wish. Move on over to the Shaving Cadre, www.theshavingcadre.com. And did I say that right? www.theshavingcadre.com. There, I know I got it right that time. The first time was just kind of automatic out of the mouth. Anyway, and join the conversation, make an account, and just a lot of fun goes on over there. Participate what you want to, don't participate what you don't want to, but it is just, there's Zoom calls, and there are gift exchanges, Christmas cards, and bingo games, and all kinds of stuff that goes on. I don't participate in the bingo games usually, but the gift exchange and the card exchange seems simple enough. Yes, there are rules and parameters, and sometimes they get followed, and sometimes they don't, or not all of them anyway. But yesterday was just a lot of fun, and sitting in front of the fireplace and opening that gift was just, for me, just a great pleasure to do that. And so we're going to use the two primary gifts that came from my gift sender. Turns out it is Scuttle Soap, also known as Brian, from the Shaving Cadre. He's a leading participant in many of the threads and things that go on there, and certainly on the Zoom calls, he's always a lot of fun. So I know who he is. The list of clues that he sent me to try and guess who he was didn't quite work, and the two pieces of information that I did have, my wife was able to pick up and discern the name Brian that had been blacked out with the marker on some of the stuff. So she picked up the name Brian, and then the last clue says he's going to scuttle the ship. So Brian plus scuttle, I would have eventually gotten to Scuttle Soap. But I'm a little slow that way sometimes, connecting all the dots. But anyway, we had a lot of fun with that. So the razor for this morning is a wonderful gift from Scuttle Soap. He sent me this Fox. Let's see if it'll pick up. Fox razor, Sulligen, Germany, it says on the back of the tang, and just these delightful scales. It is a thin and narrow blade. It's reminiscent of a Hofritz, pretty thin there, and that's fine. A lot of these are just, the Hofritz that I have is just a fantastic shaver, and the other thin razors that I have are fantastic shavers. I don't know what this was honed up on. I don't know how well it's going to shave here this morning. I do have a backup and standby just in case. And so we'll set that there. And the brush is just a lovely brush. Custom made Wild West Brushworks. Nice cactus, nice coin set in the bottom there. It's what looks like a 24 millimeter. It's a fan knot, and it's just got beautiful colors worked in there. Just beautiful colors, just Lovely. So back into the water. And the soap, now when I got home Saturday evening, I told my wife, listen, if I don't stay over on the yard and do the shaving and so forth that I do when I come in late in the afternoon or evening, I'm going to need to shower and shave when I get home. Are you okay with that? And she said, yeah, that's fine. Do what you got to do. And I said, are you all right with me recording? She said, no. And so I did a shower and shave Saturday night, and I used a Mitchell Wolfat shaving soap. And lo and behold, between then and yesterday on Christmas, a thread came up about lathering and the difficulty of lathering Mitchell's Wolfat soap. And well, I didn't have any problem, and I've never really had any problem with Mitchell Wolfat soap. And as a truck driver on the road, going to all the different parts of the country, north, south, east, west, and Canada, and encountering all different kinds of water types, I've never had a problem making lather in any soap due to water type, for whatever reason that might be. And I'm not a scientist by any stretch of the imagination, and so being able to say why I've never had a problem, I think it's the amount of soap and so on. And I watched a video Saturday night late of Anthony Esposito from his last Friday's shaving video where he used Mitchell Wolfat, and I've always done what he did, but he went through it, and the secret to making good soap with Mitchell Wolfat is load it beyond your normal expectation of what you think a loaded brush should be. So just keep going and keep going and keep going and keep going until you have significantly overloaded the brush, and let that airy, foamy stuff work off. And you'll see what I do here in a minute. So while I was stropping for about 10-15 minutes and getting a cup of coffee and so forth, I let the brush has been soaking in hot water. The bowl has been soaking in hot water in the basin, and it's still got water on the puck now. So blooming is essential, and I'm just going to pour off that water right now. So we've covered the soap, we've covered the brush, we've covered the razor. I'm just going to let that sit there for a minute, rinse off the hands, because it is a slippery soap. I'll tell you that, it is slippery. The lanolin and such that's in it is slippery. Now, another item that Brian sent me was the Straight Razor Renaissance by R.E. Williams. And I made the comment in yesterday's video, said, isn't he the guy that does custom razors? And sure enough, turns out it is. And so I've read the first, all the foreword and acknowledgments and the first chapter, and it's going to, at least, I say at least, I won't say it that way. It's going to be an interesting read. I don't know how much I will be interested in all the metallurgical stuff that he's going to, according to the table of contents, that he's going to go into. But who knows? Maybe he'll convert me, and I'll be a forging hound. But like my son, you may remember a year or two or some time ago, I put it up on the Cadre that he had won, I say won, a spot on Forged in Fire television program, and was invited to come onto the show and compete on one of the episodes there. Philip Schrei is his name if you're interested in going back and checking my son out. And And as things should go, they have 3 contestants on there, and they're given some projects to do and work through those projects. And in the end, he won that episode's challenge. Now you can see I've got quite a bit of lather worked up in there, and some of it's going to start dripping out. And so I'm going to go with this. Well lathered, even overloaded considerably. And I'm going to take all that off and put it on the face and get what I can out of the bowl. And it's going to start off kind of airy. You just keep working it and working it. And brushing and lather making, and then all of a sudden it's just going to it goes from airy and what you might regard as overly creamy, and it goes into a nice lather. And this is a step. I'm a big fan of Dapper Shave's Jock over there in South Africa. And I've been watching him a lot in the last several months, weeks and months. And this is something he regularly does, is that he takes that early lather and just uses it as a kind of pre-shave and rubs it on. And it smells so good. I just love Mitchell's Wool Fat. It's one of what many regard as one of the best longtime soaps, vintage soaps, if you want to say, in a class like Tobacco, and some might add Williams. I'm not as big a Williams fan. And it's going on kind of dry-ish, and we'll get it spread out here, and then we're going to start adding water to the brush, and then it'll start yeah, we're getting close to where I want it. I'm seeing some creamy. Yeah. All right, let's go with that and see what happens. That's looking pretty good to me. All right. Nice rich lather. I see some bubbles coming up in there. I got a cup of coffee, in fact. Let's see if I can. Yep. Community coffee breakfast blend. All right, here we go. Fox razor from Scuttle Soap for the Rudolph gift exchange. Nice thin razor. First few strokes there, I can hear the bristles popping. Yeah, it's going to be fine, I perceive. I don't know what it was honed up on. I haven't quite determined whether it's a natural or synthetic. It's feeling more natural than synthetic. Not quite as crisp as, say, a Shapton glass that I have. And so I hope your Christmas was good, that your coming new year will be even better. Oh yeah, just fine. So this is acting like a natural finish. Not so much as an Arkansas as more like a conical or a softer slate. That's just my opinion. And I don't know enough about slates to comment, but it's acting more like a conical class of stone than a hard Arkansas or hard black or translucent or true hard. And we're going to keep adding water to the lather. It naturally dries up, so you have to hydrate it, and that's going to give it more volume. And so when I make Mitchell wool fat lather, this is what I'm showing you today is pretty much how it always goes. And so I'm not seeing anything peculiar going on. And so now I'll just add and as far as the classification of waters goes, I don't know if the Houston area of Texas is, and I tend to think not because we're as close to the ocean as we are, the Gulf of Mexico. My wife and I enjoyed some delicious food. She'd been cooking all week while I was gone to California, and we've got oh goodness, when I got in Saturday night, she had chicken fried steak and Yukon yellow potatoes, cabbage and sausage. She made a big pot of gumbo, which I'll be seeing that on the road, I'm sure. And then a big breakfast casserole with bacon, egg, and cheese, and tater tots baked in an oven. And it was big casserole. We got plenty left from yesterday morning, probably enough to feed us for the rest of the week. I was reading in Mr. Williams' book last night. As I said, I read the first chapter and the introductory stuff. And he's talking about how he fell in love with steel and honing and razors and knives and dedicated himself to a life of the pursuit of perfection of the creation of the straight razor. And that's kind of where it left. But it's just very interesting. He does go back, and I appreciate this part about the book, is that I think what he said was 1971 when the love of razors bit him and all things honing and straight razor shaving, etc. And he gives a lot of credit to Lynn Abrams, which I'm very glad to see. I don't know Lynn Abrams. I've had a few exchanges with him on the old forum, and then the new forum that was just started up here a few years ago under the old name. A couple of exchanges there, but Lynn Abrams, when I was sitting in the truck, in the cab of the sleeper of the truck, that one late and lonely night out on the road and trying to figure out I need a hobby, what am I going to do? It was his videos that set me off on this journey. And of course, you know, yes, I thanked him. Yes, I corresponded with him. But he still doesn't know me from Adam. And given the hundreds and thousands of people that he's probably corresponded with, he did like my write-up I had on the old forum when I went and visited Dan's whetstone and took pictures and had conversations with Steve Kirschman and Dan Kirschman, the founder. Of course, Steve is largely the operations guy now over there. Well, that was those many years ago that I was there. It's been, what, 5 or 6 years since I was there. And had that, but I've talked to the ladies over there a few times on the phone since then. You know, but I always start the conversation by, who drove their big tanker truck up into your parking lot? Oh, that'd be you. Yep, that's me. I haven't seen you in a long time. When you coming back? I just might do that one of these days. They're outside of Little Rock in Hot Springs. right, pretty good. And we'll rehydrate again and again. It dries up pretty quick, or I'm awful slow. I wouldn't discount the latter. See, that's as good as any soap, even the best of soaps. On Martin de Condé or any of the Sterling soaps or A&E soaps, that's a great lather right there. Let's put a little more water in it and see how much further we can get. So you can tell by what I've done so far in lathering this soap that there was nothing extraordinary, nothing hard about it at all. And so it's, as I say, and others have said, Anthony Esposito and Last Fridays, it's just, you've got to load the brush beyond what your normal expectation is, and also what your expectation of the lather is and how to achieve it. What I mean by that is this: I see a lot of guys on YouTube, on their shaving videos, that put lather, that make a lather that's as thin as water. And I'm thinking to myself, why are you making it so thin? And one of these guys, I even wrote and said, why do you make your lather so thin? And he said, I just prefer that. Well, okay. He's not one of the guys that was talking about Mitchell Wolfat, so I won't lay that on him. But again, it's about what your expectation of the lather is and how you ordinarily make a lather. Whether you're looking for a rich, thick, creamy lather, something like what I've got and have been demonstrating here, or whether it's just one of these little skim milk things. Skim milk, did you like that? That just came to me on the fly like that, skim milk. I like to keep lather all over my face. That's why I re-lather my face after every pass or partial pass, is I like to let the ingredients of the lather do what they do to the face to moisturize it, hydrate it, etc. That's just a beautiful lather right there, and it keeps coming back. With each hydration, each lathering, I got a bloop ready to drop. Gotta get that. Oh, that's just lovely. Absolutely lovely. And the thing about blood when you're straight razor shaving, if it's not bleeding when the shave is over, it don't count. You're always going to get little weepers and minor. And when I say minor, I mean very minor. I don't mean the kind of thing where there's a continuous blood flow, and I try to get lather on any little weepers and minor nicks as quick as possible. I have found that the lather either acts like an absorbent or a coagulant to those little small weepers. And by the time you're done with the shave and wipe the lather all off, it stopped bleeding, stopped weeping. It don't count. So there's always going to be, and there's anything from angle of the edge, the amount of pressure you're using, or just facial imperfections that are on the face. Now you don't want to slice off a mole, obviously, if you have one, or my little goober over here started out as a pimple 4 years ago. It's been 4.5 years in the healing. My doctor said about a year ago, he said, you might want to go to a dermatologist and see if you got cancer. I said, really? Cancer. Now, what did I know? Other than it's healing. Now, I don't know why it's taken 4.5 years for it to heal. But it's almost back to the skin, the little red area is almost parallel to the facial level of the skin. So I'm not worried about it. It's healing on its own, and that's okay. And I put a little topical cream on it from time to time. Go back and look at my early videos, single digit, number 1, number 2, number 9, almost 2 years ago. I've been on the shaving cadre now for almost a year, so it was a year before that when I actually started doing shaving videos, and then I left off for a while, and then came back at it strong, and have rarely abated since then, usually for no more than just a few days, or a few days. But I call it my skin goober, this little thing right here. But you go back and look at it 2 years ago when I was first making videos, it was ugly and raw looking, and I really shouldn't have been making videos. It was just ugly, and so why would somebody watch somebody with an open sore on their face? everything's working great. The lather, the new brush, the new razor, new to me. It's obviously a vintage. I don't know what it says Fox Cutlery. What's that? Company. Solage in Germany, 441. And then it says Trade Fox mark with a little I don't know. There you go, right there, with a little fox engraved there. I'll get some more hot water in the sink there. I haven't made mention of it, but the barber's notch, nice little feature to this 5/8. See that line right under my chin? That's a garbage dump of whiskers. And I try to go through that at different angles to try and clean it all out. Garbage dump of whiskers. I just made that up. So my wife and I are going to spend the day today in the living room in front of the old TV set. Got 2 episodes of Yellowstone and 2 episodes of Tulsa King with Sylvester Stallone to get caught up on. We watched yesterday the 2 episodes of 1923 with Harrison Ford to start that new series, which were very good, you know. And he's doing another Indiana Jones movie, and Sylvester Stallone is doing a new Rocky movie. If I was correct in seeing that trailer, it may have been a spoof. I don't know, but it looks like Rocky's doing another one, which is fine with me. That's, you know, if you got a moneymaker that the public loves, why would you turn loose of it? Yeah, we're retiring now. Why? There's all kinds of places you could go with that in storytelling. Not to mention the fact that Rocky character is just a resilient, and endurant. Exhibits endurance. And not to mention self-reliance. You remember that speech he gave to his son? Standing there on the street, it's not a matter of how hard you get hit, it's about how hard you get hit and get back up. That's what life is, right there. And that's a lesson that a lot of people need to learn about getting hit and getting back up. there. All right, off to the head shave then. Give the blade a good wipe down using the dry rag. And before I shaved this morning in my prep work, I stropped it. Kaneyama 80,000 strop Cordovan. I did 100 strokes, or that is to say 50 laps on the suede, and I did about 120, 140 strokes, 70 laps on the Cordovan side. That's a beautiful strop. Beautiful strop, Cordovan. Kaneyama 80,000. All right, where am I going? No, I didn't mean to sound like I was whining earlier, but it's just life. People go through different things, and it leaves certain indelible marks upon your life and your mind. And again, I apologize if I offend anybody by going kind of, sort of, not really, kind of apologize. To quote Steve Bannon, kind of, sort of, not really. Yeah, I got enough good lather in my brush to do my head. I'm gonna put some water on that, thin it just a little bit, or hydrate it better. There we go. Absolutely no troubles, difficulties with the Mitchell wool fat. Just, again, to quote Anthony Esposito, load it like you hate it. Load it like you hate it. Overload it beyond your normal expectations, whatever those may be. If you're having issues with it, just try it. It's like, again, he says, it's only soap. Soap's cheap. And you're not going to use that much off the puck when you overload it. But that's all you can do is, trial and error. Take what advice you can get from others, try it yourself, get some experience using it. Hyatt Regency, Lake Tahoe. Memories. And see, and that's the other side, is building. You may not have a lot of money in life, but build memories, beautiful memories that'll stay with you, with someone you love. Wife, spouse. Ooh, hour and 22 minutes. Going a little long today. But I had some things to say, and especially about the Mitchell wool fat soap. That's some good stuff. That lanolin smell that comes off, fabulous. Going to work on 3 or 4 razors on the stones this afternoon and maybe tomorrow. That Novo Duer Philharmonica from a week or so ago. That one, I've got 2 of them, so it'd be the first one that I've got, not the second one. And that roll up from back then, a couple weeks ago, on the Shapton glass stone. And then my whacker, hand forged. Gave a good shave the last time I used, but as I was inspecting the blade, noticed that there was some striations and so now that that razor has given me 3-4 good shaves in a row, I think I'll try and refine it up a little bit on the 30,000, Shapton glass 30,000. And then the Dovo Bismarck that I used recently gave me a good shave, but I'm going to I'll take it back to the cuticle and see if I can't get just a little more out of it, just a little more. I took it, and I know about having watched and tried to master as best as any one individual can do, Dr. Matt 357's 4-part series on the cuticle, which, in my opinion, are those 4 videos are the quintessential penultimate of cuticle. Did you like that? Quintessential penultimate? I'm going to call in to dispatch on Wednesday. To see what's available, to see what loads are. When I came into dispatch on Saturday, he said he had a load leaving tomorrow, or getting loaded tomorrow, going to Longview, Washington. nah, I wanted to spend another day or two at home instead of taking off on Tuesday. But that was the longest load he had on the board at that time. And I'll tell you another secret too, that it wasn't just the timing, wanting to spend an extra day or two at home. That big storm that just went through the west, hitting the east, had just blown through, and it was still quite cold. And I didn't feel much like, it didn't feel much like taking that load. And I also know the truck stops up that way. They're small, they're dirty, they are. Oregon and Washington truck stops are substandard, all of them. There's a TA over in Woodburn, I think it's Woodburn, or near Woodburn, Aurora, that's it, Oregon, but that's not where I would be going. But there's a TA truck stop, of all even the Love's truck stop at Troutdale is a death trap. I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. Going, yeah, I want you to go park at the Love's truck stop at Troutdale. And I know these engineers and planners, they've got to work with the land that they've got, but it makes you question, why did you get that land to begin with? And it's right there at Troutdale, the mouth of the scenic part. It sits right there on I-84 in Troutdale. And there's rivers and streams and mountains and hills and valleys, and so you're obviously very constricted by the terrain around you, and so you got to do with what with what you got, and you got to buy the land that's available at the time, and et cetera, et cetera. And I understand all that, but sometimes you just wonder, come on. I might work this one too on the stones. Gold Dollar Shave Club 2017. It's a nice razor. Knock off of a Wade and Butcher old style Sheffield. And this one, this Gold Dollar here, was finished on a Zulu Gray, worked up on I work all my stones up on the Shapton glass up to 8K, 8,000. And then take them to the natural stone, so it probably went up to the 8K True Hard Arkansas that I've got, and then finished on the Zulu Gray dry, I say. When I trim the back of my neck, what I'm feeling for, since I'm doing this obviously all by feel and blind, is I'm feeling for the base of my skull and coming down. I don't know how Scuttle Soap found that book by Mr. Williams. I suppose he's got a website somewhere. If you're into straight razors, I think it'd be well worth the read. I think it'd be well worth everybody having. I think I cut the back of my head with that toe as I raised up my razor. Yeah, got a little blood there from somewhere back there. I got a trail of blood, don't I? That's the thing about the head, is you get any kind of a nick on it, it just bleeds, bleeds, bleeds. All right, we're gonna call it right there. That's a wonderful shave. This is all stopped pretty good, and it'll all dry out. All right, thank you for joining me this day after Christmas. I hope your holiday season is fabulous and you have a very happy new year coming. And we'll probably see you again Wednesday or Thursday. So see you down the road.